We're good? I loved hearing that massive cheer for David. Of course, it was like 10 times louder than your cheer for me, as it should be, because you are in for such a treat with him. I feel like I'm sort of standing in the way of your time with David, but I do want to take a few minutes to talk about LifeWave because I saw a number of hands go in the air of guests that are in the room. And even for brand partners in the room, just getting a reminder for yourself of why you're here, what we're doing, our purpose, our goal of helping so many people live better every single day of their lives, right? And we really are about being the light. Everything we do is around light, right? The light in our bodies, how we can use the light in our bodies to heal and to, feel better and feel more energetic and feel well every day. And it's also about being the light to other people. And the person that invited you here today as a guest in the room saw light in you, saw something in you, and wanted to share this gift of LifeWave, the products and the business opportunity with you. And that's incredibly special. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the things that you should be looking for in a business opportunity if you're considering LifeWave this morning. And I made a decision to consider and ultimately, obviously, choose LifeWave just a few months ago. So I'm actually one of the newer members of our executive team. I've been here since the start of January. I have almost 20 years in the direct selling channel and actually started my direct selling journey in the field. So I've walked in the shoes of our brand partners. I've built a business myself. I ultimately decided to come over to the headquarters side of the business. But I want to tell you a little bit about the things that were important to me when I was looking at for my next opportunity. I spent 11 years at my last company. I'm loyal, probably to a fault. And when I decide to say yes to something, I'm all in. All in. And so it was really important to me to find the right next home. And at the end of the day, it really boils down to products and people, right? Now, the product is incredibly important because you're attaching your brand, who you are day in and day out with your network, your friends, your family, who you're going to be talking to about the products. So it's really important that you feel confident that it's something that you want to share. And you share every day, right? Recommendations. When you find a fabulous restaurant, what do? You tell people about it, right? When you find a great new boutique, you tell people about it. When you find really comfortable, fashionable new shoes, you tell all your friends about those and they run out and buy them, right? Are you getting kickbacks from any of those places? Probably not, unless you're a social media influencer as well, which is cool if you are. But we naturally share things that work and things that we love. So it's important that you love the products, right? And what really impressed me about our products is the fact that they are, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about product this morning because, hello, we have David Schmidt coming up next. You're going to hear a lot about our products. I'm just going to touch on it a little bit. But the thing that is incredibly important for you to understand about LifeWave products is not only do they work, you will hear countless testimonials. I asked someone last night who was telling me a number of product stories. I'm like, am I going to cry every day at work? Because so far, I've cried almost every day at work. Good tears, happy tears, right? Just knowing how much we are helping people. But the fact that our products are patented, proprietary products that nobody else has is what you really want to pay attention to as someone who's evaluating this opportunity. Because there are a lot of direct selling, network marketing, multi-level marketing, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of opportunities out there, but there are not a lot of companies like LifeWave. There is really nobody else who has I have a slide coming up on this, but newsflash, over 200 patents from their founder. Nobody else who has created a product that actually cannot be replicated, right? What you often find with direct selling companies are just white labeled products. They might be decent products, they might be good products, but they're the same kind of products that you can go and buy off the shelf at a supermarket or a big box store or a health store or wherever. They're not unique. What we have here is incredibly unique and in fact patented. patented, so no one else can do what we do. Now, as we get bigger, the bigger we get, the bigger the target on our back, there will be more copycats, but they're still not doing what we're doing. And they're not going to get the results that we get, and they're not going to have the longevity that we have. So products are incredibly important. The other thing that's incredibly important is the people. And for me, that was first and foremost the founder. And so I had the opportunity as part of my interview process to interview with David. And I asked him a question. The most important question to me was about his commitment to the direct selling channel. Because I spent 11 years helping build a big, beautiful business with another company, and then they just pulled the rug out from under their field and decided to go affiliate. And so I needed to hear from him that if I'm going to jump in with both feet, work, as our president likes to say, punishing hours. It's true. But I do this because I love it. But if I'm going to work all those hours every day, travel, sacrifice family time, pour my life, my energy, my personal brand into your brand, I want to know how committed you are. So literally in my interview, I was like, I need to look in your eyes. I did this on Zoom. I was like, he still hired me, so I guess he wasn't offended. But I said, I need to hear from you about your commitment to this channel. And his answer was brilliant and beautiful, as his answers to all questions are. And he said, we would not be here if it weren't for our field. I would not have the things that I have. I wouldn't have the success that I have. We wouldn't be a company. We wouldn't have grown the way that we have grown. We wouldn't have an incredibly bright future if we weren't in this channel. And furthermore, all of these companies that are closing their doors or trying other models or trying other things are foolish, because this is only going to get bigger and better. There is only opportunity here for our field. We have so many more lives to touch, so many more people to help, and we cannot do that without direct selling. Imagine just seeing these little patches sitting on this shelf at a store. You would walk right past them, right? You wouldn't know what it was. You wouldn't know what it meant. You wouldn't know to buy it. It would just be sitting there on a shelf. It's the stories that impact people. It's the stories that sell our products. It's the stories that intrigue other people to join the business. So starting with the founder, the people are important. The other thing that's incredibly important is your headquarters team. We are very aware of who we work for. It's you. It's all of you. We wouldn't have jobs if it weren't for our field. But you also wouldn't have the opportunity that you have without the headquarters team behind the scenes doing the heavy lifting of taking David's incredible innovations and actually manufacturing them, packaging them, sending them out to your customers, of creating the marketing materials, of running the business behind the business. Even the compliance team is important, people, because they protect the business, they keep us all safe, right? So you have an incredibly talented team who comes to the office every single day to pour into all of you. But the most important people in the equation are your fellow brand partners, are this community, and are your leaders. When I interviewed, Meredith told me about our field. She told me about the bench strength of the field leadership team here, and she's incredible, and she's extremely articulate, and I was so impressed with everything she said. But as I've gotten to know our leaders, I'm even more impressed. I am even more amazed. I am even more grateful than she ever could have told me about in an interview, because we have such talent here. We have incredibly dedicated leaders who are creating systems, who are duplicating the partnerships and helping people be successful. And you have a whole community of people around you who want you to be successful, who are there to help you. And it's a brilliant community of very abundant people who often don't even care whose team you're on. They're willing to help. And that's special. You do not get that everywhere. Some companies have very competitive cultures. They're very cutthroat. We are not like that. We are abundant. We know that there are so many people to help, so many people to talk to, that it's not a competition. This field is all in it together, and that is a beautiful thing. So those are the things that I think are important to look at, along with other important things like a generous compensation plan, an excellent recognition program, and trips, and all kinds of things that I'll talk about in a minute. But it all boils down to the products and the people, and you, I believe, are in the right room at the right time right now. Now, everyone is talking about LifeWave right now. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone in the channel. I actually don't mean everyone, because if you look at what our actual brand awareness is across the US right now, even though we have thousands of people out there sharing our products and this opportunity, our brand awareness is actually still very low, right? We have, because this is all a word of mouth business, we have a lot of work to do to share the light with even more people. But people are talking about LifeWave right now in the channel because of the results that we are getting, both with the products and with the business. Because people are sharing these incredible products, this incredible patch. And guess what? It's easy to share. You wear it, and often people ask you about it, right? You don't even have to start the conversation. I'm getting a lot of head nodding. You don't even have to start the conversation. People are like, what is that? Okay, let me tell you about it, right? You wear the patch, you get results, you share those results with other people, and you start conversations about the products and the business. It is actually very simple. Now that doesn't mean it's easy. No one is going to stand on a stage here and tell you just sign up and watch the fat stacks of cash roll in. That's not how it works. There is work, but it is good work. It is fun work. It is exciting work. It is extremely gratifying work to share these products, to see the people around you getting results, right? So you wear the patches and you share the patches, and look at the results that come from that. We are a 20-year-old startup. That doesn't make sense. That sounds like an oxymoron, but it's true, because we really, chugged along as a good-sized company for many, many years until a few things happened. We launched our biggest, best, brightest, and boldest product, X39. We sadly, as humanity, went into a global pandemic, and people started caring more about being well and how they were getting well in particular. And we also started to attract more and more leaders to LifeWave who started building bigger and bigger teams. And then we took off like a shot, 3,000% growth over the last 6 years. That's incredible. But we have so much opportunity still. We have a globe of people to share these products with. Here's a little footprint map of where we are. We have 2 manufacturing facilities. We manufacture most of our own products, which is also very unique in the channel. We have 12 distribution centers, multiple offices around the globe, and of course we are open and shipping to something like 80 countries. So this is a global opportunity, which is another thing that I think is important when you're considering a business, because you know people everywhere. And if you don't know people everywhere, you know people who know people who know people everywhere, right? And so you can actually grow a global business with LifeWave. Now, you're going to hear from the man himself, but I do want to take a minute just to talk about innovation and how innovation is really what drives us forward. It's the core of who we are. X39 will remain our flagship product. It's the product that everybody should start with. But David will continue innovating because he can't help himself. He is the most brilliant and amazing and creative and thoughtful and wonderful person. You're going to hear from him in a few minutes. But he is an inventor at his core. He has done so much research into stem cells. He researches energy production. He is just, everything he does is about, okay, what is next? But most importantly, how can we bring this to market in a way that makes sense, that people can share, right? So he could sit there and invent things, but if they're not marketable, if they're not something that you can go out and talk to people about, it wouldn't mean that much to you, right? But it always does, because he has you in mind every time he's sitting down and thinking about what could possibly come next for LifeWave. So X39, flagship product, has not been around for more than a few years, truly is responsible for that massive growth trajectory that we are on right now. X49 came on its heels. Alavita, this brilliant skincare line with a patch that goes with it. And Celergize Morning, which we just launched in June, and then LifeWave X2O, which I know you're going to hear a lot more about this morning from David himself, our water system that is ultimately going to change so many more lives. But innovation's at our core, and that's also important when you're considering a business opportunity, because it injects energy and excitement into your teams, and volume too, but no one's going to argue that. But that's truly what innovation does, is it propels us forward and you forward with more conversations with more people. So because of all of that, we're getting a lot of accolades. There's a lot of attention on LifeWave. Some call us the darling of direct selling right now. But we won the DSN, that's the Direct Selling News Bravo Growth Award for the second year in a row this year. That's the fastest growing product company, over 100 million in sales. Kind of a big deal because of all of you. We also achieved number 22 on the top 100 global direct selling companies. Very exciting, moved up multiple spots. And David Schmidt, our founder and CEO, obviously was a recipient of the DSN Bravo Innovation Award, an industry award that is, obviously given to innovators, to people who are doing different things in a unique and special way within the channel, because he is. Okay, so let's start talking a little bit about what's happening in North America specifically, because that's the region I'm responsible for. And that's the region you're sitting in right now, obviously. Look at these growth numbers. Canada. So some of you already know this, because I like to remind you, or every once in a while you'll hear me say an out or about and go, you're not from these parts. I am Canadian, born and raised, and this market has a special place in my heart because of that. It's a baby market. There is so much opportunity in Canada. If you know Canadians, you need to be talking to them. Canada's growing very quickly right now, 40%, 47% year-over-year growth. That's incredible. But that's growing off of a pretty small base. So much opportunity. Next up, Mexico. Look at that number. Mexico has gone into massive momentum. We've got some hands in the air of people who are helping us build in the Mexico market. 130% year-over-year growth. They are on fire in Mexico. Just promoted up their first presidential director. Wow. Yes, indeed. Multiple new executive directors. They're still waiting for their first senior presidential director, but I don't think that's going to take too long. And they are just, everything is firing on all cylinders in Mexico. So if you know people who have connections to Mexico, get them on board, get them excited. We have an incredible corporate team down there. We've got brilliant leaders from the US in particular who are really helping shape and build Mexico right now. This market has the opportunity to be an incredible market for LifeWave. And then the United States at 30% year-over-year growth. Now you might be like, well, that's not 130. No, it's not, but that's off of a slightly larger number. The US is actually our largest market in LifeWave. About almost 60% of LifeWave's revenue is in the United States. So massive market already, growing 30% year over year. I'm telling you, every colleague I have in this channel, every vice president of sales in every other company would die for that number right now. We are one of the few who are growing like this in this market, and that is because of all of you. That's because this is a duplicatable, simple business to build. That's because of the product that you have at your fingertips to share with people, because it works, because it's unique, because it's patented, because nobody else has it. And so this number is incredible. Year-over-year growth at 30% is unheard of at this size, but we have so much more room to grow. Again, brand awareness is not high. I would bet that several of you haven't even talked to your next door neighbors. I'm getting like heads down, right? Sometimes you get so excited about building a global business, or where are we gonna open next? What's the next launch? What's the next product? And I'm like, have you talked to your neighbor about X39? If you haven't, you should go home and do that. Put them on your list, that ever-growing list of people you have to talk to about this opportunity, because this opportunity is massive, and we can grow. We can grow. My last company went to almost $2 billion just in the US. So I have seen what is possible. And that was with a premium skincare product that really only appeals to a small segment of people. We have a patch that everyone needs. Yes. Everyone. Everyone is a pretty big market. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that opportunity, because the global direct selling market is massive. This is a big channel of distribution of products, valued at over $200 billion in 2022, but look at that growth trajectory, expected to reach $392 million by the year 2032. What? That's massive, right? We want our piece of that, and we will get our piece of that. There are approximately 116 million people involved in direct selling worldwide. Well, what does involved mean? Are they all top leaders of companies? Absolutely not, right? People join this business because of the flexibility, because they can choose. You can choose to do a little bit, a medium bit, or a lot of bit, right? And people in this room sit in all of those buckets. If this is a couple hour a week gig for you, and it's just offsetting the price of eggs or gasoline or whatever is expensive in your state, great. You can build a great business doing that. You can also build a meaningful income for your family if you choose. You can also blow the doors off if you want. Will that take some work? Absolutely. But is it possible? Yes. So not all of those 116 million people are building, full-time businesses. No. A lot of them are working very, very flexibly, sharing things that they love, and are just excited to be part of something like this. Let's look at the US specifically. So, the population here. We're a big country, 340 million. 86% of those live in metropolitan areas, and the biggest ones are New York, LA, and Chicago. I just moved to Salt Lake from LA. I can tell you, traffic is proof. That place has a lot of people. If you don't know people in those places, that's cool, because I can tell you, you know someone who knows someone there, right? So those are huge opportunity markets for us. When you look at the states that have the most activity going on in the channel, they're California and Texas, and then Florida, shortly behind. In LifeWave, Florida would be up at the top, followed by Texas. There's a little friendly competition happening there. I think there's some months where Texas might sneak up ahead of Florida, but we got a lot of activity in Florida, a lot going on in Texas, not a lot going on in California. Who do you know in California? People, right? There's like 40 million people in California. There's a few people for you to go talk to there. So that's a massive opportunity market for us. Now, if you're looking at those numbers on the bottom right of the slide and you're noticing, 2019, 2020, 2021, going up, and then, what happened in 2022? Well, the pandemic, quote unquote, ended? I don't really know. Whatever happened there, that was a result of the pandemic, because unemployment was high, there were a lot of people working from home, so they had a little extra time maybe to start a side hustle. A lot of companies grew very, very quickly in those couple of years, but they didn't sustain that growth. Once things settled down, people started going back to work, some of those people chose to flex back out of those opportunities, and a lot of companies saw a decline. Did LifeWave? No, we sure didn't. We just kept on growing. And again, that is because of our products and our people. So we defied that trend, and we will continue to, because of who we are. So what kinds of things are people selling? Well, the biggest bucket that you'll see up there on that pie chart is wellness products. Why? Because people are more in tune with being well, wanting to age better, defy aging perhaps, be well, live well in their skin, in day in and day out. So wellness products are by far the biggest single category. The one that looks like it's almost as big includes services and other, whatever other is. But we are in the right category from an opportunity perspective, from the kinds of things that people are looking for and the kinds of things that people are sharing. And what we know is in the US, there are over 6 million people that are quote-unquote actively engaged in direct selling. Again, that's from doing a very little bit each week to doing a lot each week. So don't let that number make you think, oh gosh, there's already 6 million people. Maybe there's not room for me. I guarantee you there is room for you. There's about 37 million people who are preferred customers or discount buyers, wholesale buyers. Approximately 74% of people in direct selling are women. I don't think that's our percentage here. because we've got a lot of good men in the room who are happily sharing these products as well, because again, everyone needs them, right? And they're easy to share, and they don't have a gender associated with them in any way. Everyone wants to be well. The powerful product stories that we hear are across the board. All kinds of people. Key growth trends are digital transformation and social selling. Obviously, people are doing more and more on social media. Some people do social media well, some people don't do it at all. And guess what? If you're great at social media and you want to share on social, have at it. We love that for you. And if you don't, that's not a skill you necessarily have to learn, because this is a person-to-person business, and you will start and have conversations with people. Technology is an amazing tool from a top of sort of funnel perspective, if you want to talk sales language for a minute. It's a great way to get attention, get people asking questions, but for the most part, you're going to need to have a conversation with somebody to really intrigue them and excite them about our products, and especially about the business. So if you're not big on social, don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be. You don't have to do it that way. Some do, some don't. There's a shift towards wellness, biohacking, longevity. We hear lots of buzzwords related to health and wellness, and that is what we do, right? That is who we are. This is all about helping people live better, live longer. AI and predictive analytics. Yes, I know half of you right now are putting everything into ChatGPT and getting it to help you write your social media posts, or help you write your emails, or help you answer tough questions. That's great, right? And we're working on some exciting things that I can't yet tell you about that will help you do that even more effectively with your LifeWave business. And then the other trend that we're seeing is more compliance and regulatory scrutiny. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, we want this company to be well, to live long, to be a legacy brand, to be generational, something you can possibly pass down to your kids or your family. And so it's important that we stay safe, and it's important that you do as well. And so we don't let that trend intimidate us or scare us in any way, because it is actually a good thing for our company and for the channel. There we go. So at the end of the day, I talked about this right at the start, you have a dedicated team at LifeWave to support you. Not only do you have incredible leadership from the person who invited you in this room and cares deeply about you, or they wouldn't have asked you to be here today, to their leaders, up and up the upline of the team, and then on the headquarters side of the house as well. We are here to support you. You may be going into business for yourself, but you are not going into business by yourself. So we do a lot of things to help support your business. We do monthly webinars, a Product Connect each month with David Schmidt, who pours his heart into talking about the products, making sure people feel informed and educated and equipped to go out and share those products. We do a new brand partner webinar once a month to invite our newest people who've enrolled to learn more about LifeWave and about how to get started. We do Business Connect every month, which my team hosts and has leaders come on and share their learnings, their wisdom, and support all of our brand partners further. And then we do a top leader webinar with our senior presidential directors once a month as well. So lots of ways to connect digitally. We also love to come out and see you. So we do boot camps a few times a year. This is some pictures of the last one that we did, which was actually in February here in Orlando. Many of you were in that room. I was like a month in at that point, probably looked a little like a deer in headlights, but that's okay. We have a fantastic team, and this is a true partnership. I think this boot camp is a true way that really shows the partnership that we have between our headquarters team and our field leaders, because they do most of the training. Who better to learn from than the people who are paving the way and showing how this business works and how things are done. My clicker is not clicking. There we go. And then when we have bigger announcements, we do what we call Super Saturday, and we bring people together to announce big things. We just did one of these in early June in Dallas, Texas. You see some photos there of your leaders on the stage, really helping educate all of our directors and above at that particular event and bring new news to the market in an educational, informative, but also exciting way that involves, some confetti, because we like to do that too. A little bit of a party. We also love to reward you for honestly the basic business building behaviors and activities that help you build your business day in and day out. When you do a lot of those, there's an opportunity to be rewarded in a different way, which is our incentive trips. So this is a couple of, sort of blobs of people. It's like herding cats to get everyone into these photos, but we took over 500 people in 2 waves to Punta Mita, Mexico in April, had the time of our lives. It was an incredible trip. It's such a special way to feel rewarded, and most importantly, to make more new connections with people who are also running and doing the things and building their businesses. And it's a huge opportunity to learn from each other again on these trips. So super excited to do that. And then in June, we took our top leaders on a once-in-a-lifetime trip to Switzerland and France. This is a shot of our elite SPDs, about 40 of them, plus guests, toured around Switzerland, which is, I think, a bit of a sleeper hit. I'm not sure it was on anyone's vision board to go to Switzerland, but once they got there, they were like, wow, this place is incredible. And it was an incredible trip. David Schmidt was able to join us. Obviously, Meredith Burkich, our president, was there, a number of our home office team. But most importantly, again, time to feel extremely rewarded and connected with fellow leaders on that trip. So that's something you can pin to your vision board as well. And then our event of the year, our conference. I saw so many people who said that you haven't ever experienced David live and in person yet, which tells me that you haven't been to a conference yet. And I'm going to say yet, because you're going to want to be there in October. Who's already registered of our brand partners? Okay, that's a lot of you. Who's not already registered? Because that's going to be a smaller number. Okay, not that many, so that's great. Now go out and bring more of your friends. We are not yet sold out, but this event is all about education, inspiration, celebration, and the one and only Elton John will be performing. So not only will you get to hear about our innovation, our incredible products, David's vision for the future, but then we're going to have a little party. And someone asked me the other night if I would tell them all the other secrets, and I said, no, I cannot do that just yet. But we may have some tricks up our sleeve, so if you haven't yet registered for a conference, I want you to get out your phone that's on silent, and I want you to scan this QR code and buy your ticket right now, because we surely will sell out. We have room for 10,000 people this year. It's going to be our biggest, bestest, baddest conference yet, and we want you all there. So, at the end of the day, I hope that our guests in the room after today, and surely after you hear from David, are going to feel inspired, are going to want to become part of LifeWave in some way, shape, or form, right? Experiencing our products and possibly building the business. There are a few ways that you can get involved. You can become a customer. You can become a retail customer. I'm not sure why anyone would do that, but you could. You could become a preferred customer. And most importantly, what we wanted to talk about today is becoming a brand partner. Not only experiencing health and wellness and longevity and living better every single day for yourself, but being able to give the gift of that to others, because that is truly what it is. It's a gift to share these products, and it's a gift to share this business. So what we want you to do is have the conversation with the person who invited you. They'll be able to give you all the details on how to do just that. And I understand we've got some gifts if you do that today, and the ability to stay for the training this afternoon, which will be incredible. You're going to hear from some truly amazing leaders this afternoon if you choose to stay for that training. So those are the ways that you can get involved. Honestly, why LifeWave? Why now? I hope you've heard a little bit of evidence of that this morning already from me. Surely you're going to feel that connection and that excitement for the vision of our future when you get to hear from David. But thank you so much for having me this morning, and I'm going to pass you back over to Stacey. Woo!